Hello. Hello.
How are you today?
I think after this is start, right? Not yet. Okay, set. Not yet.
So I think for our activity, you're supposed to bring an object
Yeah.
that once offered you comfort, but you kind of want to let go of it now because it's no longer relevant to your life. So are you going to bring it out and tell me more about it?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, actually it's not exactly an object. It's like a thought. I have a few close friends that we somehow just grew apart and like, wow, this friend, last time we used to travel, last time we did that, which I feel like, okay, we are growing up, so maybe it's just a phase thing, and maybe I treat people importantly, but people don't see me the same way, so I just wanted to let go of that thought and yeah.
Actually, my object is quite similar, but it's in this and it's like an accessory, but it's too personal, so I'm like not gonna show you.
Okay, sure.
But it's the same thing. So every time I looked at it, I kept thinking about how last time was better, and like that relationship, like with my friend, was like so much better, and keep thinking about it. Then I realized I also carried it into my current friendships, and that's just not healthy. So I'm gonna let go of that today. So basically, this activity is very simple. We're gonna take this yarn. So what we're gonna do is basically bind the object using the yarn. So it's a bit of like taking back your power. Instead of being tied up about it, you're literally tying the object instead. The people that I've done this activity with, they literally just like do it like 1/4 of the way, but they feel like it's complete, then good for them. Some people, they wrap the whole thing, they want to wrap more, so they go like layers and layers, so they can bring like a very small object, right, but it end up being this big.
Oh,
because of it. Yeah, so you can just get into it. Got audiences from like various age groups, so it was very interesting to hear everybody's story in life, and it's quite, sometimes I think we forget that everybody has their own like intimate behind the scenes stories, and it's just nice and refreshing to like be reminded of that humanity a bit, and to be a part of it, so that's quite fun.
Do I cut and stuff it or?
Whatever you feel is right. I would recommend cutting and like stuffing it, but honestly you can just go around it with the white.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's gonna be tight, right? Mine is getting so compact.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to find it.
Bye. Okay.
Time to go.
Okay. Bye. I won't harp on it.
For real.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, my one I let go long ago already, so I.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay.
And that's gone.
Okay.
Yeah. So thanks for sharing.
You
That was
too.
actually
Thank you.
I had fun.
How long have you been doing this actually?
This as in art in general, or like my specific practice now?
Your specific practice.
Specific practice now, I would say maybe about 4 to 5 years. So I was actually originally in fashion, even for my introduction year. So I actually changed course halfway. So everything like suddenly landed me here. I never looked back. Yeah.
Okay. So do you feel like the fashion part actually influenced your art? No?
Yeah, I get
Fabric,
that question a lot.
No, really?
Not at all. Pure coincidence. Yeah.
Then if that's the case, then what's your main like motivation? Like what's the inspiration
Like
behind?
using cloth at all?
Yeah.
I think I always grew up around a very tactile environment because when I was younger, like my Chinese grandma would always make our clothes. My Indian grandma would really want me to wear saris. I was playing with a bunch of saris that my grandmother had given me. Like my dad would normally go to India and he'll bring it back because they'll be like, give this to nature. Yeah.
Directly there.
Yeah, and then I just started to be very aware that I was not Chinese because I grew up mostly with my Chinese family. At that point, I was seeing myself as completely Chinese, and there's a lot of microaggressions even inside a Chinese household. And I think in that moment, like when I was holding her saris, I became like acutely aware. I became acutely aware that my IC is Indian, and I am Indian. So materiality became very important to me because of that moment. I was like, okay, I'm going to use this somehow. It grew, and then it grew into all this, and the topics grow and grow deeper.
Like just now you were mentioning you had the moment with like materials, for example, when you're doing it, maybe the end product is not really the main point, the process is the main point, right? So like whatever we did just now, we don't really see how it looks at the end, it's the intention. Right? So can you share a little bit more? So apart from this, do you have other parts of you, of your art that you feel like is important? Is it a process or...
I think it's a layer of it's like a few things, but obviously mainly the material and very strongly the process, because the process is very labor intensive, it's very movement driven. I work on the floor, I use my whole body. That's the exercise I get. But yeah, those two are the most important. The final product, I don't have a final product in mind. I don't sketch. So it's like purely process based. And at the end of the day, the final product is like kind of, I see it as a documentation of that whole stretch. Like how for our activity, we kind of letting go of it and we kind of don't want to talk about it again, or at least separate it from you, right? It's the same as when I make my works. So at the end of the day, my work becomes an object that documents the experience, but it's no longer like part of me because I'm like, it's separated from my body. I'm looking back at it. Yeah, something like that.
To sum up today with one word, the first word that comes to my mind now is release. Yeah,